Christmas is that time of love, sharing and showing off to your friends.
And I'm going to show Barry how this dish handles all three.
It's really easy to make because Ken would put loads of stuff under Ben's tree. This is a proper show-stopping dish. You put this down the middle table and you're bound to get a reaction. Also, Ben and I are a little bit biased because we love this dish more than life itself.
Yes, and I love gin, so we're going to take all the flavours from my favourite drink, gin, and put it into the mix we're going to cure. That comes first. So, an equal weight of salt and sugar.
I know.
A lot of salt and a lot of sugar, but you need that for the curing process. It doesn't mean you're going to eat it all, it just helps with the osmosis. So essentially it's like gravlax we're making, which is like a cured salmon dish. It's Nordic, it's delicious, often covered in mustard and dill. We're not doing that bit, but we're using the same process. Gravlax literally translates to grave, dig lax, salmon, dig a salmon.
Why are we giving our salmon a burial?
Fishermen used to put it in the salty sand and that used to cure it and kind of half ferment it. We don't do the fermenting bit anymore. We certainly don't use the sand, but it's a similar process.
The sand in your teeth, that'd be the worst thing ever.
So you said that gin and salmon both love citrus, so lemon. I love gin with cucumber. So a little bit of that.
How much of these flavours will impart into the salmon? Like
a surprising amount.
Is it?
Because it's going to be there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So if you think about gin, gin is a beautiful spirit, and I love gin because it can take on so many different flavours and botanicals and spices and citrus and so many things. So we're going to see how many of those we can put in. Got some fresh thyme, and then gin wouldn't be gin without juniper berries. So put a tablespoon of those in.
I don't know what juniper berries actually taste like. Can you eat them normally?
Well, we wouldn't really. It's just juniper. I don't know. It's such a unique flavour that gives gin. Yeah, tablespoon. Lovely. Oh, do you eat one?
Well, just because it's a very recognisable flavour. I think it's a bit bitter. Kind of tea-like, isn't it?
We've got enough salt in there, but we want a little bit of pepper. You guys said pink peppercorns for a tablespoon of those. Try one of those.
No.
Do it.
No.
Eat it. You won't learn if you don't try these things. And then wonderful more sort of spices and herbs. We've got some fennel seeds and some caraway, and caraway is another very distinctive flavour. Taste it.
No.
Taste it. I like caraway. Great in flatbread.
Not on their own.
And once all the liquid comes out the cucumber, you end up with this kind of sludge.
Can you find a better word than sludge?
Fragrant, botanical, infused sludge. How about that?
Nearly.
And now for the word I used earlier, osmosis. So all the salt and the sugar is going to draw out the natural moisture of our salmon. So a nice big piece of raw salmon, smoked if you like, skin still on, and we put half of this in the bottom, and then you're going to get your hands involved and basically get the salmon in and rub all of this in and around and on. Now you can see how thick that mixture is now. Once you've rubbed it all in, cling film it, put it in the fridge for 24 hours. Maybe turn it and rub it again halfway through. But what comes out is something like that. But you can see how much more liquid there is, and that's all the liquid out of the salmon. So this is our cured salmon, 24 hours after that's been in the fridge. Oh, really firm.
It's cooked it. Cured it.
Yeah, not so much cooked, I suppose, yes. It's cured it. Now you're still not going to want to eat this because there's way too much salt on the outside. So we're going to rub most of it off and then just run it under cold water or submerge it in a bowl of cold water. And that will just get rid of any excess.
Give it a little bath.
Salt. But all the flavour has penetrated through. And then we're just going to leave it on the side to dry. We'll just pat dry with some kitchen roll. And now this will keep wrapped up for another couple of days. It's cured, so it's basically good. This is an impressive starter you can serve up to your friends, but with all the fuss, and when I say fuss, I mean blending some ingredients and putting it in the fridge, way in advance. You've got your apron on, which can mean one thing and one thing only, beetroot.
Beetroot time, getting messy hands, I don't want to ruin my top.
I hate to break it to you, these guys have solved that problem. We're going to use golden beetroot, so it shouldn't be an issue anyway. What? Salmon's done, ready for the slaw. So, not just what we're chopping up, but what we're dressing it with. All suggestions from you guys. You said green apple, red cabbage, golden beetroot, and obviously carrots. We want to peel all the ones that need peeling. We're going to keep the peel on the apple.
That's lucky.
And then we're going to grate it through the food processor with the grating disc for speed, and you're going to see how quickly this slaw comes together. And this is why I love this dish, because
We're nearly done.
we're nearly done, but also you've got the salmon, which is full of omega-3, so it's rich, it's oily fish, it's delicious. And then all of this we eat raw. To make it nice to eat, you want to get it nice and small. So the grater's going to do all of that, it's fitted, and all you need to do is plunge it down through here on a high speed, coleslaw, done. Last thing to do is to mix it up and to dress it. Now a coleslaw might typically have mayonnaise in it or creme fraiche.
Very rich.
You guys said keep this one light, so it's just lemon juice, and the best suggestion I've heard yet, given that we're doing all the gin flavours for the salmon, a little dribble of slow gin.
This bit isn't vital. If you don't like gin, you can leave this bit out, but for Ebbers, he needs it in his life.
We're going to season it, salt, pepper, lemon juice and gin. You don't want to overmix it because you don't want all the colour from the red cabbage to leach too much.
Okay. Be delicate.
Just enough so that it all gets a bit of lemon juice, it all gets a bit of salt, pepper, and it definitely all gets a little bit of gin.
Wow. What's the techers here? Because do you go that way?
I think the techers is nice sharp knife, quite a large knife so you can get long strokes, and you don't want to start here and work that way.
Yep.
You kind of want to cut it on the diagonal. So the first couple, you end up with pieces like that.
You can taste every flavour that went into that.
Slaw takes seconds. Once your salmon is cured and in the fridge, it doesn't take moments to slice. That is an impressive
What? Sorry, wait a minute. What have we done here? What's this?
cucumber.
The cucumber sandwich on the side.
Sorted.
No.
I feel like you've taken the suspense out of the taste of this with your reaction when you
Sorry.
first tasted it.
Now, Jamie's the first person to tell you that slaw isn't slaw without mayonnaise, but that is spectacular. I'm not a massive fan of slow gin on its own, but for some reason, put some vegetables with it, it's lovely.
Well, I think it's just quite earthy. The cabbage and the carrot and the beetroot are quite earthy. Obviously, you've got the tang of apple and the lemon juice, but it's well seasoned, it's crunchy, it's colourful, it's inviting, it's delicious, and you'll want to give it a go. The recipe is available downstairs.